Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing our first encapsulation. Now this is my first time doing somebody else's nails, so don't clock me. Do not clock me. I'm usually a press-on nail artist. This is my first time, and I really want to give thanks to her for trusting me with the design and also with her nail health. Now she did come in with freshly soaked off nails, meaning her nail beds were extremely fragile and dehydrated, so we made sure to lightly buff and drill her nails to make sure to get any excess product that she may have missed. She also preferred me not to cut down her nails or cut her cuticles, so we didn't do that to complete the prep process. Now we're doing our other hand, and we made sure to keep the drill speed a little low, just with keeping in mind that her nail beds are fragile, and we're not drilling off a whole lot of product for her nails. We're just doing a little bit of light work to make sure our nail tips stay and to make sure the foundation is good and prepped for no lifting. Like I did mention before, this is my first time doing somebody else's nails. I do run a press-on nail business where I ship off these nails, so I don't do the prep work. I wasn't no stranger to this either. Making sure not to over drill her nail beds. The only added step was my acrylic application, which this is my first time doing it on a real person. I then went ahead in with the alcohol pad and wiped off excess dust that the drill had left behind, and I added some dehydrator as well because we're going to be starting to glue on our nail tips. Now we did use a different type of nail tip for her thumb, and we're going to link the rest of our nail tips down in the description because these nails were easy to work with and they were able to stick perfectly fine to her nail beds, as they did come in about 11 sizes to choose from. Now, to ensure that the nail tip is secure and will not move, I did add a little bit more glue and press down at the corners of the nail tip. On some nails, I did apply the nail tip a bit higher, and then some I didn't need to do that just because some of her natural nail tips were cut and more fragile. So we did want to add a little bit more security, as these nail tips will be trimmed and cut into a coffin shape. I'm also going to be linking this nail glue that I used to glue the nail tips on. It's very strong and it really dries very quickly. I did want to give a special thanks to my client because she did help me throughout this process, as she has been getting her nails done at salons and she even does her own nails. And she provided extra tips that I will be taking on the go when I'm doing other people's nails. I was pretty new to the order and how my 3 products, if you saw our last nail haul, we've both gotten a Young Nails primer and also Mia Secret Extra Bond. But my main concern when doing her nails was no lifting, so that's why I ended up using both products after I had glued the nails and trimmed them. Also, when gluing down these nail tips, I did want to make sure that there was no nail glue that was sticking to her skin. Though we did experience some nail tips hanging off the edge a little bit, but that was no problem because we are going to go in later with the file to shape them better to be more uniformed with and look more natural to her hand. Now we're moving on to the trimming process. She did want them to be a bit longer just to leave an extra room for when we file and shape. So we did decide to use about 8 or 9 magnets on each nail. And just for extra accuracy, we did set them side by side to make sure they are the same length. I mean, just look at those thumbs, like. And here I am just showing her to confirm that this is the length that she wanted. Now, since I didn't have any tiny scissors with me, I do now, but we did go ahead and go in with the nail clipper to make that almond-like shape to later transform into a coffin. Since these nail clippers are a bit curved, we did want to make sure that the nail clippers met at the middle of the nail tip, and then we cut so we could have a nice pointed edge to work with, versus using tiny scissors that will most likely give us a triangular shape, and that probably would have been easier to file as well. You can see that pointed edge that I was referring to on her ring finger. Now we move on to filing. I did grab a extra new file and I was a bit scared because I didn't want to cut her, but I also wanted to make sure that the shape was precisely what she wanted, and I didn't want to overdo it or be too rough with the nail tip. But when I had talked to her, she said I did a really good job, and she actually taught me a technique is to actually go underneath the nail as I'm doing here to get that coffin shape.
Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town.
As you saw before, the sides of the nail tip were rounded, but my problem was making them straight and overfiling. I feel like for coffin, it was very easy for me to overfile compared to any other nail shape, just trying to file on an angle. After I filed the nail tips, I then went ahead to grab the drill to blend the nail tip in with her real nail so it can look as seamless as possible. This also helps take away the shininess of the glue. Also, since we're putting a clear acrylic on there and it's going to be see-through, I did want to make sure that it looked natural as possible.
just to say how much you mean to me. What would you do if I told you you were beautiful? Would you date me on the regular? Tell me, would you? Well, baby, I've been around the world, but I ain't seen myself another girl like you. This ring here represents my heart, but there's just one thing I need from you. Say I do, because I can see us holding hands, walking on the beach, our toes in the sand. I can see us on the countryside, sitting on the grassland side by side. You could be my baby, let me make you my lady.
Know how to deal with me. I'm fucking with you. Don't know how to love me. I'm dealing with you, so it seems like I get so much, I don't get nothing back. I really thought it was love, but you're so fucking whack. Always get caught up in love, but now you done with that. I can't get caught up in love, so now I'm, yeah, flexing on my exes and my Model X. Pretty little skinny little bitty body Model X. Some of y'all ain't never had no real bitch and it shows. I keep it 100 from my head down to my toes. Back up on my bullshit, back up on the move. Touchdown in my hometown, got nothing to lose. I am on my own now, I am in control now. I need you to go now, I can fix my own crown. Back up on my bullshit, back up on the scene. Don't dealing with you, don't know how to deal with me. I'm fucking with you, don't know how to love me.
I then went ahead and grabbed some primer to coat her natural nail bed to the top part of the nail tip.
In the studio, back on tequila, back on the strippers, all the groupie hoes. This could get ugly, I'm petty, I want you bad out of smoke. I'm coming crazy, baby, baby, one thing that you should know. Little baby, bounce back, yeah, act like you.
In order to make them stick, I applied a thin coat of nail foil glue, put that under the light for 90 seconds, took it out, and then applied the hearts so that they'll stick. And we definitely wanted a trickle effect, so we piled the hearts at the bottom and then added less and less hearts as we went up the nail. I didn't worry about hearts that were tipping off on the side because we were then going to move over them with acrylic and file. Now, this is something that I've seen online that I actually want to try, is that they applied acrylic, their first bead, at the nail tip area of the nail, and then let gravity do its job of moving the nail bead south of the nail. Whereas for me, I decided to apply acrylic at the nail tip first and build my way up to her natural nail bed. Also, due to my client's occupation, she did want me to add a bit more acrylic in some areas of the nail to add more structure and stability. She's been getting it like that for years and had no problem with working with it nor the appearance, and I had no problem doing it. It was really around the cuticle area. I was making sure not to flood. And judging by that first nail that I did, I think I did a pretty good job doing that. Here I'm just repeating the method, and I'm just sandwiching the foil hearts. For the rest of the nails, she did want them to be completely clear. And so I find that it's easier to create these type of beads. Personally, I had a hard time with the consistency of picking up my beads. And right now I'm starting to think that it's the type of acrylic that I bought that making the beads turn out like that. And the reason that I say that is I'm using the same type of technique when it comes to getting rid of excess monomer. But if you have any tips or tricks or any recommendations for good acrylic, let me know. Just like here, she wanted me to add a little bit more acrylic, and I was personally afraid of it becoming a little foggy.
said what love will make you do. All the things that we accept, be the things that we regret. So all of my ladies, hear me, come on, sing with me. See, when I get straight to leave, you always tell me that you need me. And I'm weak cause I believe you. And I'm mad because I love you. So I stop and think that maybe you can learn to appreciate me. When it all remains the same, that you ain't never gonna change, never gonna change, never gonna change. My baby, oh baby, and my heart can't take no more, no more, no more. See my days are cold without you, without you. And my heart can't take no more, no more.
You say nothing's wrong at all, baby. I say that we falling off lately. Maybe we just ain't been on the same page. In my mind, I'm done fighting. In your heart, you keep trying. The truth is not hiding. That's just the way we are. But can't say you love me when it's like that. Can't say I love you when it's like that. If it was new, it won't be like that. To everybody else, it will just all be bad. But I love when we make up like that. And you love it when I make you mad. But maybe we just love like that. Yeah, maybe we just love like that. Times I don't want you around. You do something to make me smile. And it's hard for me to try to doubt this feeling. Yeah, we could just walk away. Yeah, we could just stay away. The things I love about you, I can't change. No, 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 no. In my mind, I'm done fighting. In your heart, you keep trying. And the truth we done hiding. That's just the way we are. Can't say you love me when it's like that. Can't say I love you when it's like that. If it was new, it won't be like that. To everybody else, it will just all be bad. But I love when we make up like that. And you love it when I make you mad. But maybe we just love like that. Yeah, maybe we just love like that. Can't say you love me when it's like that. If it was new, it won't be like that. But I love when we make up like that. But maybe we just love like that. Yeah, maybe we just love like that. Can't say you love me when it's like that. Can't say I love you when it's like that. If it was new, it won't be like that. To everybody else, it will just all be bad. But I love when we make up like that. And you love it when I make you mad. But maybe we just love like that. Yeah, maybe we just love like that.
She can get it, say if you a bad bitch, put your hands up high, hands up.
Was it more than a summer fling? I said farewell, you took it well. Promise I won't cry, bust the milk. Need a paper towel, give me another valley, give me another hour or two. I'll walk with you. Why you bother me when you know you don't want me, girl?
Now we moved on to the filing, and I was mainly tackling areas where acrylic may have fallen off or underneath the nail or alongside where it can make contact with her skin, and I was making sure to redefine the size of the coffin. Use the same techniques as when we were filing the nail tips to the nails now with acrylic.
That's that most city, that's high, that you can't go around at night. You like to get me high, you don't want no one beside you. You like when I make fire, you say the flame can make you fire. Let me come inside you, let me plant that seed inside you. I suggest this, only thing that's the whip. Only thing that was real, only thing I can feel you. So why you bother me, why you bother me? Trying to catch you real weak.
We then went ahead with the drill to get the cuticle area and make sure the surface of the nail is flat as possible. And after doing this, I should have applied matte top coat after I buffed and then go ahead over that matte top coat with the glossy top coat. But for the machinery used to drill, I decided to go in with different things like the ball pointed drill bit. Then I went in with the mini buffer, and then the sanding band, and then the nail file. After I've done all that, I went ahead with the alcohol pad to wipe down the surface of the nail to get rid of all that dust and debris before going over it with the top coat that you see me applying here. For my first time not only doing encapsulations, but also my first in-person client, I think I did a pretty good job as far as the entire application to filing process. The tips and tricks that she did provide made it a lot simpler and a lot faster, and she was also so happy with the result, and it fits the springtime perfectly. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of the video.
I found this on the web.